Whoa, 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 Osula. Yes, Will Osula came off the bench last night and became the first substitute ever to score a 90-plus minute winner against Manchester United. It was their first defeat under Michael Carrick, but it was our fourth consecutive home win against them. They do not like coming up here, do they? And it halted a worrying run of 3 consecutive home league defeats for only our second win in 8 games, and it lifts us to 12th. So, in today's video, let's go through last night's game, a massive win in which every player stepped up, including Jacob Ramsey, despite his absolutely ludicrous second yellow, which never should have been. So, stay tuned. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Magnificent Mags channel on a glorious Tyneside day here in the Rising Sun Country Park, Wallsend. I hope you're all well. I certainly am. The weather is certainly reflective of my mood today. I've been on such a high. On such a high last night. We went to the 3 Bulls just for one. But they were in such a good mood, we decided to stay out till last orders at the 5 Swans. So yeah, I've been a bit rusty at work this morning. But I've powered through, and I've just got a bit of a longer lunch break today, so I just wanted to come out and record this while the weather is absolutely fantastic. There's the sun right there. Yes, Newcastle, they got a massive win last night, and what a mood changer from the weekend, wasn't it? Because, well, you know, we normally turn up against Manchester United. It's the club we all love to hate. Because, like I've said before, when I was 9 years old in 1996, they ruined my summer when we lost the title. I know we were partly responsible, but as a kid back then, you just look at the club who stopped you from winning your first league title, which was first in 69 years back then. So yeah, we always love getting one over on them up here, and that's our 4th consecutive win over them up here. I think that's for the first time since the 1930s, but I'd have to check that stat. If it's true, I'll put it on screen for you now. Well, yeah, every player to a man stepped up last night. You know, like sometimes you'll go through videos like this and you'll be like, well, this player didn't perform, and it was a number of others who dragged me through to the win. Well, even Jacob Ramsey, who got sent off controversially last night. Look, I'll come to this now, but every player stepped up last night. But yeah, Jacob Ramsey, I'll come to that first because I needed to get off my chest. Because the decision by Peter Banks, who had yet another awful game against her, sent him off. He was poor. And the first yellow card, he did tug on the player's shirt, so that was fair enough. But his second one, when he was played through by Gordon on that counter-attack, Alanga won the flick on. Gordon was running through, played to his right. All that Ramsey was trying to do, in my opinion, was just get out the way of Lamens. And then he lost his footing at the end. He'd never appealed for a penalty. No signal to the refs around him trying to say I was brought down, and yet the ref didn't give out initially, but then it must have been after he went to his assistant, or he said something in his ear, that he sent him off. And then you worry at that point, because you're thinking, how will we do here? Because, like a bit like the weather, isn't it? The weather was minging all the start of this year. It's just been constant rain, and Newcastle United couldn't win away from home, if I can get my words out. But Newcastle had won 4 and 5. We finally started to win away games. But then, as soon as the weather's got good, we can't win at home. But finally, we've put that right last night. Now, do I think we've turned a corner? No, of course not. This is still a tough month coming up. We've got Manchester City in the FA Cup this Saturday night. That'll be another bouncing atmosphere, as everyone will probably be out early, be well-oiled. And then it's Barcelona in the game of the season on Tuesday in the first leg at St. James's. And we'll have to get something to take over to Spain. Then we'll go for a tough game at Stamford Bridge. Then it's the Nou Camp, and then it's the derby. So yeah, this month doesn't ease up, but you know what? I've got to give credit to all the players, like I said. Every single one of them last night stepped up to a man. Their attitude was spot on, their desire, their application, their work rate, their heart, their courage. They had it all, and that's what you need, that fight, because it felt like something was missing on Saturday against Everton, and it was a kind of a limp defeat between two poor teams that we were poor, Everton were poor, neither team turned up, and yet somehow we conceded 3 goals and lost. Well, I've got to say though, still Jordan Pickford's save, I'm still adamant a few days on, that was still a world-class save by him. But yeah, when Man United come to town, you don't need any excuse to get up for it. But after the red card, it's like, how will we respond? Because that's a massive setback. We've now lost Jacob Ramsey for Manchester City this Saturday, so another body down. We're still missing Bruno, still missing Miley in midfield. We're missing Tino Livramento in defence. But Trippier rolled back the years last night. He was phenomenal, but I'll come on to him. But yeah, everything about the players last night was excellent. That's what we're best at. And you know what? It might be a damning indictment of Nick Voltemada. And you saw my last video. I'm not wanting Nick Voltemada sold. He's clearly a talent. 10 goals in 41 games since he came here. But I don't know if he was really ill yesterday, because Eddie Howe came straight out with it in his presser, didn't he, before ManU on Tuesday, that he's ill. And that's why Ramsey came off at half-time. Now, I want to believe him, but I think it's more he's trying to protect the player. A bit like why I think Nick Pope came out, because he got pelters for his error for Beto's goal at the weekend. Ramsdale came in and he stepped up. But yeah, what I mean with Voltemada is that's us at our best. We're snarly, we're aggressive, we're in your faces, we're pressing, high intensity, winning tackles, running at them with pace. And nobody epitomised that more, I've got to say. Well, two players, Joe Linton and Anthony Gordon. I'd question Anthony Gordon at the weekend because I didn't feel like he'd put his whole heart into it, because he usually doesn't turn up against Merseyside clubs, but he was excellent last night. So was Aaron Ramsdale, who came in for Nick Pope. He made 4 good saves. I know he got away with one from Cunha's save that Mbumo put over, but those 2 top corner saves were outstanding from Xerxes and Kobbie Mainoo. But Joe Linton as well. Joe Linton was an absolute colossus. That's Joe Linton at his best. Winning balls, carrying you up the pitch, snarly, aggressive, and he's just, even on a yellow card, amazingly, someone told us this after the match last night, despite all these yellow cards that he gets for it, he's never been sent off. I'm astounded at that, honestly, the way he plays. He's always on the edge, but he's never been sent off, so I'm stunned at that. But yeah, honestly, like, going through it, like, we had with chances. Obviously, Trippier's cross back in it wasn't meant to hit the post, just the way it came back. But then Lewis Hall chested it, hit a right-footed shot over. Got to say, Lewis Hall, I'll come to him, but he won the battle of the left-backs against Luke Shaw for the World Cup this summer. He's got to start for Thomas Tuchel. And then we had other opportunities. Obviously, Alanga, he fizzed one wide. His volley, Nolly, also had his volley when it came back to him as well. So, yeah, we had opportunities. And I felt like we should have been ahead, because both halves, you wouldn't think Man United won beaten under Carrick, because they were poor, they were bang average, especially that second half. If anyone said who's got the 10 men here, you'd go Man United, not us. Like, our work rate, all the players ran themselves into the ground last night, but I've got to give full credit to them again. Like I said, we made Man United look bang average. How they're third, I don't know. We had with chances, but then came the moment Ramsey got sent off. And I'm adamant he was just trying to stay on his feet, get around Lamins, and then he lost his footing and went down, but then he controversially got sent off. And then you're like, will ManU go on here? Will they get a goal? Because they've shown under Carrick recently, they've been a bit more solid at the back. He's playing players in the right positions, unlike Amram's ridiculous system he was playing. And yeah, they look more solid, like I said, and you're thinking if they got the lead, then it might have been hard to wrestle back, especially confidence might have been a bit shot after Everton, but you know what, you wouldn't think we'd lost against Everton our last 3 home league games, because they were outstanding. And yeah, Anthony Gordon took it upon himself. He was facing his own goal, but then he just turned and then just ran up the pitch. He drew the foul from Bruno Fernandes in the box. Referee thought about it for a moment, and then he pointed at the spot, and then Gordon sent it down the middle, but that keeps up his 100% conversion rate this season from the spot. What you want of Newcastle from there is what they haven't been of late. You want them to stay switched on, keep the concentration, don't have any lapses, don't let ManU concede, because what's been a problem, especially it was evident against Everton at the weekend, we just don't hold on to leads. And then it happened again. You just thought, see it out to half time, and then 10 men regroup, and then you can remain compact second half. But yeah, we didn't heed the warning yet again, and Lewis Hall made the foul in front of the Milburn towards that side of the pitch, and then Bruno Fernandes put the free kick in, and Lewis Hall let Casemiro go. Lewis Hall's only mistakes of the match, that foul, and then losing Casemiro, and he nodded past Ramsdale for 1-1. Did ManU deserve it? No, because other than Kobbie Mainoo's shot, And then, like I said, Cunha's shot was parried by Ramsdale, and then it was fired over the bar when he was in the area from Brian Mbumo. I still think he looks like Uncle Albert of Only Fools and Horses, like his hair's on upside down. He's like a Temu Nuno Espirito Santo. But yeah, I'm glad we missed out on him, to be honest. His wage demands were ridiculous. So yeah, he fired over the bar to let one off. But yeah, Man U equalised, and we went down with a feeling of injustice at half-time because Peter Banks, yet again, was so awful. He just made some really questionable calls. You had Bruno Fernandes getting away with almost quite literally murder for all his fouls. Matheus Cunha was at it all the time. His performance in general was terrible though. 9 minutes added time for Casemiro to score at the end of the first half. He just had no control over the game, and it felt like he was giving Man U all the decisions. We came out for the second half and we were the team on top, and well, chances were few and far between. I'm not saying that we peppered the goal. Obviously, Tonali's corner came in around the 66th minute, and Gordon just couldn't get enough of a connection on it. Kept digging in there. Ramsdale pulled off 2 more further good saves. The first one, Bruno Fernandes clipped the ball into the box in Lenny Yoro's header, which Ramsdale saved really well. And then the pick of the bunch near the death, before Osula's winner, was Joshua Zirkzee shot, which, a bit like Tonali's against Pickford, I don't think he could have hit it any better. And to get a hand up like that, because when Ramsdale's came in before, has he really grasped the opportunity and stake the claim to keep his place in the team? No. I'd say, like we've said all season, me and the lads, we've been saying we'd like a hybrid of Nick Pope and Ramsdale, someone who can kick, who commands his area, but then has Nick Pope's shot-stopping ability. But Nick Pope hasn't been good with his shot-stopping of late. But Ramsdale last night proved that he deserves to keep his place on Saturday. And he got lots of support from the home crowd as well. So yeah, that kept the score at 1-1. But you thought, look, we had to make a few challenges. Dan Burns in the Lees' East corner, that got the crowd up, but the crowd win it all game. Despite being down to 10 men, it felt like we're still at 11 with the crowd. It was noisy last night. It was a cacophony. And that's why Man U don't like coming here. But yeah, Dan Burns' tackle got everyone up. And Trippier, I don't think he lost a header. It was good. It was good from her. I have to say that. And I just thought, keep it at 1-1. Look, do we deserve more? I felt we did. And then I thought, but if we come out of here with a point against a team who are still unbeaten under, like me, fellow Wolves End lad, Michael Carrick, I just thought, yeah, at least it's not a defeat. And we have actually fought and we've took the game to them. We haven't just sat back. And you know what? I think last night was like an advertising brochure for the Premier League. You know, like there's lots of complaints at the moment. The Premier League is losing its quality. It's like Arsenal's wrestling tactics. Because Arsenal, like, did you see, there's a stat. One of the lads sent to us before. It was something like half an hour. I think it was half an hour. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. But Arsenal the other night, they took like half an hour, 1/3 of the game to restart play. That was them slowing everything down. That's what they're doing to the game. But it's all like, now it does feel like it's all sort of like athletes and it's tactical rigidity. And you're not getting the free-flowing football, which I grew up with from my first game in '92 until only maybe 5 years ago. Even De Bruyne commented on the other day saying the game's lost its spark. And Premier League especially, I mean, so many teams that are like, I would say a lot of teams are good these days. You don't just get like the usual like suspects at the top of the league who are decent. A lot of teams are good now, and that's why it's proven in Europe that we've dispatched more teams easily, other than Barca and PSG. The other 6 games, you can't say we've been better than them. I do think the Premier League has a lot stronger clubs than some European leagues. Oh, I might have to start walking back. There's a tree there and I don't want to have to walk under that, so I'll start heading back. I need to head back this way anyway. Oh wait, that went well. I'll keep that in. I'm not going to edit that out. But yeah, I think it was a good advert for the Premier League. If you opened a brochure and you wanted to see a game that screamed, this is top level English football, then it would have been last night's game. It wasn't boring. I love our style of play. I know we haven't been the team we are this season in recent seasons because we've lost the likes of Isak, who was a focal point at the front of the team. Because we always had that striker who'd run beyond the last man with his pace, dragging their defensive line back, pushing us up. And yeah, we have had to adapt this season. That's probably reflective that we haven't had the potency and why we're only 12th in the league table after last night, 13th beforehand. But last night was a proper advert for the Premier League, I thought. Like, it was just full-blooded tackles, energy, pressing, and 3 goals, and goalkeeping saves of the highest quality. It wasn't boring to watch. Got to get onto it. Will Osula's moment. Now, Gordon, he played well, but he went down. So Osula came on for Gordon because Gordon was sitting down. And then, yeah, Osula, like I said, with Gordon for winning the penalty, Osula took it upon himself. I think it was Bruno Fernandes played it to Matheus Cunha, and then he tried to play it back to Fernandes, but Osula anticipated it, and then he laid it off to Trippier. Trippier then curled one down the line after Osula arced his run. And then typical Will Osula, this encapsulates Will Osula perfectly. You've seen in some instances he has a good end product, but everything in the build-up to that is absolute chaos. As me mate Si says, like a dog nutting a balloon. And that's what he done last night. Like, he barely kept it in. Then he stumbled a bit, but then he really regained his composure. Then he done a ridiculous step over. But then he used, after getting past Tyrell Malacia, he used Harry Maguire as a blocker for Lamins. So Lamins couldn't see, and he curled the ball around Maguire and Lamins and into the back of the net. And I have not seen limbs at St James's Park like that since probably PSG, almost 2.5 years ago. That was wild. I'm sure I'm covered in bruises this morning. Everyone was piling onto each other. Honestly, it was fantastic. And you know what? I'm delighted for him because he could have been sold to Frankfurt for 30 million in the summer. It fell through. And then he's had his injury problems. But you know what? Fair play to Will Osula. He done it last night. He won with the game. If Will Osula hadn't come on, he deserves to be up there in the players mentioned for last night, because without him, we only got a point, not all 3, and we wouldn't have felt as good this morning. So yeah, I've got to praise Will Osula. That was excellent from the lad. He's mixed with chaos. You don't know what you're going to get from him, but then he pulls off a moment of quality like that. Honestly, using Maguire as a shield so the keeper couldn't see he was arcing his shot. And like he said in the post-match interview, he practiced it in training. He scored 8 out of 10. And then the one that mattered last night, it came off to our delight. But yeah, just going through the team quickly before I wrap up, I've got to just give praise. There's Aaron Ramsdale, like I said. He came in for Nick Pope after Pope's error on Saturday, and he stepped up. His passing was good, bar the kick at the end just before the final whistle, but you can tell we're just trying to see the game out. And then, yeah, he saved, like I said, he made the save from Cunha, got away with that one because Mbeumo then put the rebound over the bar. But then he made the good save from Lenny Yoro's header, and then the 2 top corner saves from Joshua Zirkzee in the second half, and the one from Kobe Mainoo first half. Kieran Trippier rolled back the years. He was outstanding. He struggled initially against Cunha, but then he used all his nous and experience, especially when we went down to 10 men. And I don't think, like I said earlier, I don't think he lost a header. Trippier was excellent. He had Cunha in his pocket, and he just showed the quality of the man. Like I say with Trippier all the time, the only downside to him is he's older. He's 35. I wish he was younger, because Trippier is just excellent. Like, he didn't put a foot wrong last night after the initial 5 minutes. Once he worked out Cunha, he had him in his pocket. Dan Burn was a colossus at the back. He pocketed Cunha. That tackle that I said he done Lees' East corner was excellent. Malik Chow, he's great at sweeping with his recovery pace. He was calm and composed and dominant at the back. Lewis Hall, yeah, he made the error losing Casemiro for the equaliser and giving away the initial free kick, but he was excellent on the ball. Like I said, his technical quality, he was involved in that move where Joe Linton done the 180, then linked up with Barnes, Tonali and Hall, and he had the shot over the bar. Hall won the left-back battle. Like I said, he has to go to the World Cup and play ahead of Luke Shaw and maybe Miles Lewis. Scary Arsenal fans thinking he'll start ahead of Lewis Hall's hilarious. Then going into the midfield, I said Joe Linton, what he brought the game, he was a colossus. His work rate, his pressing, winning the ball back, carrying her up the pitch. Sandro Tonali, his energy complemented him. He never stopped running. Yes, a couple of sloppy passes, but Sandro's energy and his work rate to track back were key, and we're winning that game. That complemented Jacob Ramsey as well. Jacob Ramsey was on the ball with his dynamism, always showing for it. He's progressive, like I said, I always say this, with his ball carrying. and he's probably the player who can unlock a team. He's finally found his feet here. Then he was unfortunate to get sent off. His first yellow card, I've covered this, it was right. His second one was a disgrace. And then you go at the front three. Barnes was probably the player least involved. Yeah, he had the shot that curled wide. He was still pressing though, he had his work rate, but he was the one sacrificed at half-time to bring an extra player into midfield in Joe Willock. When Joe Willock came on, by the way, he brought energy, he was pressing, good tracking back, won the ball a few times, good interceptions. He brought the legs that were needed when we're tired second half, we're being a man down. Then Anthony Gordon, as I said, his link-up play was excellent. He's running, he created and scored the pen himself with that run when Fernandez brought him down, had the chance second half. Then he came off near the end. I hope it's just fatigue. Yeah, Anthony Elanga, he won headers. He was tracking back. Yeah, his final ball, as it sometimes does, it's still lacking some quality. But he was getting in good areas, linking up well with Trippier, putting a couple of dangerous balls in, won a header. He shot that fizzed wide. So, yeah, Elanga contributed too, even though he wasn't outstanding. And then the subs when they came on, Murphy and Botman just came on to shore it up and see the game out. So, yeah. Absolutely no complaints. I'm sorry if I've missed anyone there, but I'm absolutely delighted. And yes, we're only up to 12th and we're still a little off the European spots, but it gives us confidence going into Saturday night against Manchester City, because we're going to need it against a quality team like that up here, especially now we've lost Ramsey. We're going to have to probably play a midfield of Willock, Tonali and Joe Linton. Going to have to ask them to go again. But it just showed last night that without Voltemar, even though I want him to stay and I think there's a place for him here, it showed that we are a team better when we've got energy and legs and pressing, and that's not his game. So big call to be made in the summer. I want him to stay, but we don't know what will happen, because it showed you how we play last night. Even though Adam Gordon's not a striker, but he makes we play better, we'll look better on the eye. We'll wait and see, and it's still a damn indictment that Wissa didn't even come on. Like, he still looks unfit. But yeah, I just want to be positive, and that's such a massive result last night. I'm absolutely delighted. So my three best players last night, I'd probably go man the match, Joe Linton. Second place would be Aaron Ramsdale. Third, Kieran Trippier. But let me know what you think. Please comment. Do you agree with who my three best players were? Who was your standout player last night? What did you think of the performance? Do you think this is a good Kickstarter for our season? Do we say our season starts now, even though it's the 5th of March? And what do you think will happen against Manchester City at the weekend? But I'll be previewing that on Saturday. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, please do comment, as I've said. Please do subscribe, hit that notification bell, and it'll tell you when the latest videos have been uploaded to the channel. And more importantly, to help my channel out, swipe right when you're not on full screen mode. On the comments, you'll see a little dot, and that'll allow you to hype the video, and that'll push us up to get more views and help the channel out. But that's it from me for now. I'm going to head back home, have my lunch, and I will see you on the next one. So enjoy the rest of your week, everyone. Take care. And one last look around. Look how beautiful it is today, man. We are fortunate to live in such a beautiful part of the world. Bye for now, everyone. Left